Welcome everyone! In this video, we are in the Great League, showcasing some more fun battles featuring Registeel. It has been quite some time since I have featured Registeel in the Open Great League, and it will be the closer on a slightly modified version of Team Number 4 from my top 5 best teams for the Great League. Registeel works beautifully, basically in any position you put it in. It is very effective as a closer as well. And also on this slightly modified version of Team Number 4, we've got Lickitung making its triumphant return back to the Great League on this channel. It has been far too long, and I will be darned if I allow an overpowered owl to force me to not use my Lickitung. But if you can recall in the video, I said Vigoroth can be replaced by Lickitung. So that's what we're doing here today, and I will explain why as the video goes on. And also, as per Team Number 4, we've got Altaria on the lead. We all know by now Altaria about as powerful and strong as it gets on the lead in the Great League. And before we dive into the featured set of the video, we're going to kick things off with some bonus battles that I had a lot of fun with. Here we go, Nightmare League Grand Bull on the lead with our Altaria. We're making a play into our Lickitung, and they are staying in a little bit, likely looking to catch. I don't know what they were trying to catch there. Maybe they were trying to catch a Power Whip onto their grass-type Chestnut, which is what we are encountering here. So this is tricky, but Lickitung can do quite well. We just have to avoid a superpower because we do intend to flip switch here. We cannot have that Grand Bull on our Altaria. So we will play out all shield scenarios to make that happen. We've already got this Chestnut into the red. They go for a Frenzy Plant there, not wanting to debuff themselves, and we are already at yet another Body Slam. This is gonna likely start grabbing shields, but they can't really go down on shields knowing that they have a squishy Grand Bull on their team, and we know that. I'm reading this is gonna be the superpower. It is, and that Lick does take them out after they have debuffed themselves. So we are now at a shield disadvantage, but the beauty of Team Number 4 with Lickitung is you can expend your shields pretty liberally on whichever Pokemon needs them most, because all three of these Pokemon perform beautifully when shields are down. We are staring at a Lantern here. We are in the red, and we've got this Lantern into the low yellow. Lickitung putting in the work. You love to see it. They do take us out with a Surf, and we are going to align our Altaria onto this Lantern here. They do have some residual energy, but we definitely tank a couple of their Thunderbolts, no problem whatsoever. They do hit us for neutral damage, and now what we want to do is farm this thing down. We definitely tank another Thunderbolt from this health range, and we're actually expecting them to try and snipe us, and there they do. Our original plan was to farm down, pressure that final shield, but they made it easy. They aggro swap back in, and we've got the Reggie on this Grand Bull. The plan working to perfection. All thanks to Lickitung, I must say. Having the bulk to hang in there and flip switch for us made this happen for Registeel on the Grand Bull. We get to this Zap Cannon. We're saying bye-bye to the Grand Bull, and I do believe this Lantern will make it to a Surf in time. They do. So now it's getting a little sweaty at this point. We have to get 1 or 2 Dragon Breaths, I believe. We get 1 and we take them out. Holy smokes, that one got a little close for comfort, but we got it done in the end. Good game, well played. I've got to say, I was enjoying Team Number 4 with the Lickitung Safe Swap variation. It was putting in the work, and here we go. This is a pretty neutral lead. We've got a Pelipper here on the lead with our Altaria. They can flip this. They have to land a Hurricane in order to flip this and win lead, and we know that. So we're going to put the pressure on early with a Sky Attack, and we do grab a shield. So it looks like they're trying to win lead here. And they generally go right for that big Hurricane, knowing that Altaria can tank it, and they actually bait us. That is an extremely risky bait because we didn't have to shield the first move, and if we had no shielded that, they would have been in a bad spot. But now we're in the bad spot, having to go down 2 shields, expecting them to make the right play. But they give us an opening here. They aggressively swap in their Dragon-type Altaria, not knowing what we have in the back. And we just so happen to have one of the hardest checks, to an Altaria in the form of our Registeel, going for the Zap Cannon, doing big damage and dropping their attack. You love to see it with that Zap Cannon, if you are the Registeel, I must say. And this is all pretty fundamental. We can't really farm this thing down. So what we're going to do is actually go for the resisted Focus Blast and undercharge it so that we can get some more farm. The more energy you can load up on a Pokemon like Registeel, the better off you will be, because these charge moves are very expensive. And they have a Vigoroth, so that undercharge will prove to be quite nice, because we're going to grab a shield from the Vigoroth. They absolutely have to shield a Focus Blast, and we're actually going to throw Lickitung in here. We don't want them to farm us down, and we know the full team, so we can just place Lickitung here. Yes, we are taking super effective fast move pressure from these counters, but Lickitung has some extreme bulk and can hang in there, even at a type disadvantage. So they aggressively swap back into a Pelipper, going to pressure us with a Weather Ball. That's not going to KO, and we're going to look to farm this thing all the way down and have a Power Whip ready for this Vigoroth here. Lickitung puts in the work, I'm telling you. I miss running my Licky. I didn't run it all last season, and I said to heck with it. I'm running it this season. I don't care. And we get off that big damage, and this is just about 99 Sleet Type for this Vigoroth. We tank this Body Slam, and we've got the Sky Attack locked and loaded. This Vigoroth has no shields, which means that we are saying bye-bye to the Vigoroth. And just like that, Altaria has closed the game strong on team number 4. That's going to be a good game. Well played. Registeel on team number 4 with Altaria. They go together like peanut butter and jelly. An amazing core for the Great League. And here we go. What's not amazing is this lead right here had a G-Fisk. About as bad as it gets for an Altaria. So we make the play into our Lickitung, and they are looking to go for some Earthquake chip damage. Not going to let that happen because we need to control the alignment. They meet us with a Jumpluff, so that's very interesting. Very common to see grass types behind G-Fisk. And it is very likely that they have a second one in the back. They could also have maybe an Altaria of their own. They could even have an Azumarill. We don't know yet, but I have my suspicions. They came in with a bulky grass type like Jumpluff, and I think it was right around this moment where I had a sneaking suspicion that they were looking to run a double Fairy Wind grass team featuring Jumpluff and Whimsicott. Don't ask me why I have this suspicion, I just kinda do. So what we're gonna do is aggro swap back into our Altaria, because we know that if our team read is accurate, Registeel is going to have a fun time. And Altaria, as powerful as it is, can absolutely put in work with resisted damage up against a Stunfisk. It is quite astounding to see, because you comfortably tank 2 Rock Slides, and the resisted damage really starts to add up on the G-Fisk. So that's our play. I'm reading there's a Whimsicott in the back. There could also be a Trevenant in the back, which is another reason why we preserved a lot of health on our Lickitung, because at this health range we can do quite well. We will have to shield up another EQ to preserve even more health. But so that's what we're playing. We're thinking that this is double grass, basically. Could be a Trevenant. I have, at this point in the battle, I have a sneaking suspicion it's a Whimsicott. So we are trying like heck to get rid of this G-Fisk here. Gonna throw this Body Slam. It doesn't quite KO. And there it is, right on cue. My team read, my hunch was right on point. They were running a double Fairy Wind grass backline, featuring Jumpluff and Whimsicott. It just made a lot of sense, as Jumpluff, the safe swap, bulky, can clear the path, because if they draw out a hard counter to Jumpluff, they're going to be able to get rid of it so that Whimsicott can close. It makes perfect sense in terms of team building, and I'm just glad we read the team accurately, my goodness. So we've got the Reggie on the Fairy type Jumpluff here. They can only throw resisted damage, but guys, if you've seen my Jumpluff video, you will know that Jumpluff can absolutely put in work against Registeel. That's just how powerful it is. I'm a massive fan of Jumpluff in the Great League, but I think it's a little bit outmatched here, unfortunately. They tried to catch, we were onto them, fully anticipating a play like that. They come in with the low health Jumpluff. We lick it down, and we're gonna try and get to a body slam. They're not gonna allow us. Of course, they cannot farm down, and we do have the ability to farm them down, so we force them to throw, and now it is nighty-night sleep tight. The timer's coming up. Getting a little close, but I think Registeel is going to do just fine here. All we need to do is go for a focus blast from this health range. It'll be more than enough to send a little, what is this thing? I don't know what it is. It's maybe a weed? I don't know. Send it packing. Whatever it is, we sent it packing with Reggie and we closed it strong. Good game, well played. I'm telling you guys, team number 4 was quite strong, but we are picking up an awful lead here in the form of a Zoomerald. This is terrible. Going to go into our Lickitung, and they meet us with an Altaria of their own. So, as with all losing leads thus far, guys, we have to maintain the alignment. We have to be able to flip switch here. And we can do that, especially if they get a little bit overconfident in their Altaria. A lot of Altaria trainers do, in fact. They rely very heavily on the bulk, and before they know it, they're getting farmed down. So, gonna just go for these body slams and see what they give us here. Like I said, we're gonna fight as hard as we can for switch. Because they let that go, they have just sealed the deal here. We are gonna have to give up both of our shields, but again, we cannot have that Azumarill anywhere near our Altaria. It is a nightmare matchup. And like I said, because they let that second body slam go through, we are able to farm down. It did cost us 2 shields, but as I mentioned, with team number 4, if you run the Lickitung variation, the team is so bulky overall that you can be quite liberal with your shielding priorities. And they have a Stunfist, so this team is extremely hostile to an Altaria, holy smokes. They've got an Azu and a G-Fisk. Not too many places for Altaria to go, but Lickitung, with that extreme bulk, hangs in here long enough to get off another Power Whip, and they're just letting all these moves go through. Speaking of a bulky team overall, they've got one as well. They've got a lot of bulk on their team. But like I said, Altaria tanks 2 Rock Slides, no problem. The play here is to hopefully try and get the farm down. They tried to catch. We were onto them. Not going to let that happen. And they do lock their Azumarill in, not knowing what we have in the back. It just so happens that we have a solid answer to it. Even when shields are down, going for the Zap Cannon, doing big damage and getting yet another attack drop. You absolutely love to see it, and they go for a Hydro Pump, and that attack drop definitely helps when shields are down on our end, as it does less damage, obviously, and we are going to look to go for yet another Zap Cannon. They're going to have to start shielding now, because that would be lights out for them, and we do grab the shield and get yet another attack drop. This is amazing. The RNG definitely working in our favor here. And because we got the second attack drop, another Hydro Pump will not come anywhere near KOing. But they snipe us. I knew that was in play. I just did not react fast enough. That is okay. The damage has been done. Reggie has put in the work. The play here now is to farm this G-Fisk all the way down with resisted Dragon Breaths. We tank another Rock Slide, and we need to leave this matchup with back-to-back Sky Attacks. One for the shield, and the second to seal the deal. And that is exactly what we have done. Holy smokes, guys. This team was extremely hostile to an Altaria. And how poetic is it that Altaria is actually the one closing the game strong? We say bye-bye to the Azu. And my goodness, so poetic. Altaria finishing the game up against an impossible team. Good game, well played. Had a blast with those bonus battles, but we now move into the featured set of the video, and we are met with a Pelipper. So again, very neutral lead. They do have to land a Hurricane in order to flip this, and we are well aware of that. Gonna put the pressure on early, just as we did with the previous Pelipper lead, and they usually shield. Looks like they're trying to win lead yet again, but this time we're onto them. Gonna catch whatever this is onto our Lickitung. If they want to fight hard on an Altaria lead, it's likely that they're weak to it in the back. And here they are weak to an Altaria in the back. They are weak in the form of Medicham. And this is where I kind of like the Lickitung variation on team number 4. Because you can put in work against these Medicham counter swaps, guys. If you run with the original Vigoroth or double version, you're going to struggle a lot harder up against the Medicham counter swaps. It's also going to be a bit trickier against opposing ghosts, but not to a major extent. So we're just tanking all this damage. We tank the Psychic and a Pop, and we farm down. We are up a shield, and they've got a Basti in the back. So this is looking like lights out. They were ABA weak to a Registeel. It is a thing of beauty. A lot of teams have forgotten about Registeel in the Open Great League. A lot of teams don't really plan for it. And that works to our favor. All we have to do is shield up a super effective flamethrower. That would hurt a little bit. And look to take out this Pelipper here. We are even on shields. They can throw whatever they want. We tank it all day, no problem. And it looks like they are looking to go down with the ship here. It's not trending in the right direction for them, but we have to play it out nonetheless. Gonna go for the Zap Cannon, and we get yet another attack drop. Holy smokes. Oh, that RNG was coming in clutch with team number 4 here, and not looking to drag this thing out. We knew that we had a move stored, so gonna make a combo play, take out that Pelipper, and they can farm us down all they want. It will not help them. We can actually just lock on down with double resisted lock-ons and take it out with our Registeel. That's going to be a good game. Well played. Oh, I'm telling you guys, you know a team is very solid if you can work your way out of lead losses. And that is exactly what we have here. Shiny Azumarill, that is a nightmare lead for us. We go into Lickitung, and this is not any better. They counter swap us with a Scrafty. So hard countered on the lead, very hard countered on the swap. Let's see what we can do here. And again, guys, the power of Lickitung runs deep, and it is very strong in the Great League. We can still put up a fight, even up against the Scrafty. They can go for another power-up punch. It's not going to KO, and we will get to another body slam and really put the pressure on this Scrafty here. And it won't KO, of course, but it will be getting it low, into the low yellow to be exact. And that is perfect farm down range for our Altaria. I love Lickitung puts in the work. You just have to be a lot more careful with what team you run it with the Noctowls running rampant. And they can throw whatever they want. We tank it, no problem. It is a power-up punch, as they did not have enough energy for a foul play, and we do get that farm down to come back in with the Azumarill, and it is Registeel time. So they are ABA weak to a Reggie yet again. A second team in a row, ABA weak to a Registeel. People sleeping on it in the Open Great League in Season 14. It's a thing of beauty, and we get yet another attack drop. Holy smokes. I think we're using up all of our attack drops for the entire season in this video. Holy smokes, I've lost count at this point. And we will trade shields. We will play out whatever shield scenario they want to give us, because there's a good chance that the Azu's running Hydro Pump, but if it's on the lead, it's likely that they may be running Ice Beam for all of the Noctowl and Altaria leads. And they go Sky Attack there, that's fine. It's not going to help them whatsoever, because we will outpace to a Zap Cannon here. And they have expended all of their shields. We say bye-bye to the Noctowl, and it is looking like nighty-night sleep tight. You love to see a team ABA weak to Reggie if you've got it lurking in the back. It works out beautifully, and they can go play rough all they want. It does not look like they are running Hydro Pump, and that works out even better for us. Makes the matchup a lot cleaner for Registeel. We go for the Zap Cannon, does big damage on the Azu, and this is why I think you absolutely have to have Hydro Pump in this meta. It's a tough decision to make, but I think with all the bulky steel types like our Registeel here, you kind of need Hydro Pump this day and age in the Open Great League. But it doesn't matter, because we are saying bye-bye to the Azu, courtesy of a resisted Focus Blast. And just like that, Reggie has closed the game yet again. That's going to be a good game, well played. So I gotta say, those of you who struggle with lead losses, maybe watch this video and see how we find the win con on lead losses. And speaking of lead losses, yet another awful lead loss, and this time it comes in the form of Shadow Abomasnow. Holy smokes, can't catch a break here, but team number 4 is still putting in the work. They're staying in a little bit, likely to chip and dip with a big Shadow Energy Ball. Does big damage, but we survive, and they make a play into a Shadow Gliscor. So our health is very much compromised. I would imagine they would go for a very ambitious and aggressive farm down, and they're going to have to start giving up some shields if they want to achieve that, because Lickitung is about as tanky as it gets, and we do grab a shield there. And they do go for that ambitious farm down. That's fine. It's really basically going to go to waste, and it is beautiful that we were able to draw this thing out with our Lickitung, because Registeel wants nothing to do with a Shadow Gliscor, let me tell you guys. They're going to go for yet another Night Slash, and they will make it to a third. We're going to go for a farm down of our own. We don't want to tank too much damage, so they will get that shield right back. That is fine, but we're gonna, oh, they don't allow us to load up. They tried to make an aggressive play. We were onto them. So we catch that Weather Ball onto our Registeel, and now we will look to farm this Abomasnow all the way down. As I mentioned, the more energy you can farm on these low health Pokemon, the better off you will be, because you set up your Registeel to be able to just blast whatever comes back in. There's not too much that can resist both Zap Cannon and Focus Blast. There are only a handful of things that can. This Gliscor being one of them. It would have been risky to try and farm that down. We probably could have pulled it off. Would have been very risky. And they've got a Sableye in the back, so we're looking pretty good here. Going to put the pressure on with a Zap Cannon. And they do let that go, as they can tank it. So because they're not giving up that shield, the play here is to try and make it to another move, but they do not allow. So now the play is to farm it all the way down. They need 2 moves, and with Dragon Breath, with Stab, they're not going to make it, as you can see. We are shredding that Sableye, farming it down. That was the play to make. And just like that, Altaria has closed the game strong. Good game, well played. My goodness, have we won a lead yet, guys? I don't remember, I truly don't, but this is helpful. We finally win a lead here. Talonflame running Fire Spin. That is not something you see every day. But they are staying in on this terrible lead, and this is only a Flame Charge. It takes 5 Fire Spins to get to a Flame Charge. They need 6 for a Brave Bird. So we knew that that could only be a resisted Flame Charge, and the fact that they're staying in on this awful lead clues us in that they may be ABA weak to an Altaria. Generally, if they're just going to soft lose lead, they're ABA weak, and looky, they are ABA weak. They had a Medicham in the back. They tried bringing in a Basti. We counter swap with a Licky, and here we are again. Speaking of Licky, this is why I have been preferring the Lickitung variation of team number 4. I'm telling you, there are so many Medichams lurking in the back on so many teams that if they counter swap you with a Medi, you can hang in here and really put in work against it with Lickitung. Vigoroth and Double are not doing this to Medicham, let me just put it that way. We're gonna go for another move, and it's an Ice Punch, and it does not KO. And look at that, guys. Vigoroth and Double are not flipping switch up against the Medicham. That's why the power of Lickitung is still strong in the Great League. You just have to have the right team, and we had the Reggie on the Basti, which means that it was lights out for them. They top left. Good game, well played. So for those of you that tuned in to my top 5 best Great League teams, if you were wondering if team number 4 was worth it, I hope this video has convinced you one way or another. And we had a positive lead. We had a Trevenant, and they safe swap and a Medicham. So that really threw me off for whatever reason. Completely threw me off of my game. So we kind of have to stay in a little bit, and we're going to go for the Sky Attack. So you guys are going to see here, we made a misplay. Once we got this Medi to 50% health and evened up the shields, we should have immediately went into our Lickitung. We were trying to do too much with our Altaria here, and we're paying for it by having no double shield up against this Medicham. So yeah, this is just a lesson in knowing when to swap out, because that's an interesting safe swap option in Metacham, and they've got a Basti in the back. So now we're in an even tougher spot because we know that Trevenant is a nightmare for our Registeel. We would much rather have the Registeel, but if we counter swap into the Registeel, they're going to undoubtedly meet us with the Trevenant, and we don't want to. We know that the Lickitung can do well against the Trevenant. So a very intricate, nuanced situation here that we just misplayed. In order to have had the most success, like I said, in that Metacham mid-game matchup, what we should have done is swapped as soon as we got the Medi to 50% health, and got the shielding scenario even, because at that point we were 1-to-1 shield. That's the time to swap into Licky, because Licky could have easily taken out that Metacham and still had some health, and we would have been able to better control the alignment. We would have been able to have the Altaria under the Trevenant in an even shield scenario, as well as have the Reggie on the Basti. But because we misplayed it, we are now down on shields. And believe it or not, Basti up a shield can actually put in work against Registeel. So we go for this power whip here. Now we will go into our Reggie, and we have no shields to shield up this flamethrower. And they do have a shield to shield up our Focus Blast. So once they shield this Focus Blast, they will actually outpace us to another flamethrower and be able to take this game. So spoiler alert, this one does not quite work out, and it's all on us. We completely threw. We just did not. We kind of zigged when we should have zagged. We didn't play it correctly, and that's just how it goes. You know, you make one minor misplay, and it can completely cost you the game. And we needed a power whip. A body slam was not going to take out that Basti, and we just could not get that one done. Completely threw it, but good game, well played to them. And that is the team, my friends. So as I mentioned in my top 5 best teams video, for team number 4, I originally had Vigoroth as the safe swap option. I also recommended that you could run Dubwool if you have one, as well as Lickitung, and I wanted to showcase the power of Lickitung on the safe swap. It still definitely has play, even with all of the knockdowns, and I think we were able to demonstrate that in the video. You pair that with a powerful core, probably top 3 best cores, most effective cores. They have near perfect coverage. In fact, I think they do have perfect coverage on each other, that being Altaria and Registeel. You combine those with a strong safe swap, and that's a recipe for a lot of success and a lot of wins in the Great League. But guys, I had a blast. I hope you all enjoyed. As always, I thank you for watching, and keep up the grind. Thank you, guys.